Sure.
We'll be live. Hello, this is Howard Owens, publisher of the Batavian. Part of the response to the pandemic recently has been to talk a lot about mask wearing and whether people should wear masks and how to wear them. So we wanted to talk to somebody who could instruct us both on the whys and the hows of mask wearing. So we contacted UMMC, and we have Tricia Woodward on the line now, who is an infectious disease expert. Prevention expert. That was the word I was looking for. So, Tricia, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Good. Well, I appreciate you being on. So the first thing I just kind of wanted to touch on is, why it's a good idea for most, if not all of us, when out in public, to wear masks.
Oh, we want you to wear masks so that we can decrease the spread of this virus. Since this illness is spread through droplets, the mask will decrease that possibility.
It's my understanding that particularly with droplets, you're putting up a barrier in front of your nose and your mouth when you're breathing, talking, especially if coughing or sneezing, correct?
Yes, so for mask use, we want to have everybody use masks if possible when they're out in spaces publicly or any close-in spaces so that they do not spread anything. You can carry this asymptomatically. So if everybody's having a mask on, then that would decrease everybody's chances of getting any infection.
And to me, it's really kind of a math equation. You don't know who's infected. You don't know if you're infected. And if everybody's wearing masks, we're going to be capturing a lot of people to help bring that rate of infection down, correct? It's a really kind of a simple math equation.
Correct. So again, if we're all wearing masks, that brings it down significantly lower than if, say, only certain people are wearing masks. So we want to protect everybody, again, because if you don't know, then you could be spreading it unknowingly, and we don't want to do that. So just to wear your mask and out in any public space is the best.
So one of the things when I'm out and about, there's kind of two things that, I'd say three things that bother me when I'm looking at people out in public. Obviously, the people who are in a store, say, and not wearing their mask. Two is you see, I don't want to say quite often, but often enough, they'll just be covering their mouth and not their nose. And three, the other thing is kind of on the opposite end. Like I saw a woman the other day out alone in her yard mowing the lawn wearing her mask. And, obviously that's not really protecting anybody. So maybe just address the proper ways to wear a mask and when and where we should be wearing them.
Sure. So anytime that we cannot maintain a 6-foot distance from others, you would want to be wearing your mask. And when you wear your mask, you want to make sure that it covers both your nose and your mouth appropriately, and so that there's not major gapping. You don't want it hanging from your ears or underneath your chin or underneath your nose, because that's not protecting everybody from any potential droplets that could be spread. And you need to be wearing it when you're going to the stores. You need to be wearing it when you're going into any public buildings. Anytime you're in any sort of space where you cannot maintain at least a 6-foot distance from others.
What do you think of the whole, we see a lot of different kind of, really face coverings out there would probably be a better term. It seems to me that and I just want to see if we can get your confirmation on this, that the idea isn't necessarily to wear like a medical grade mask, and certainly not an N95 mask. It's any sort of face covering can provide some barrier. Is that correct? So homemade masks, the fashion masks you can buy online now, anything like that?
That's correct. So any of those are available. A lot of people have been making them and having them available out of a variety of materials. There is some recommendations how to make masks. I believe CDC has a link on how to make masks from even t-shirt material. Anything is better than nothing is really what's essential here. So we want to make sure that you have some sort of protection rather than no protection at all.
I'm glad you brought up the CDC, because early on, the CDC was recommending against mask wearing, and then they changed their tune. And I still run across people online who say the CDC says don't wear masks. And maybe just address what the latest guidance is from health officials.
So the latest guidance is to be wearing a mask in any public places. Again, if you cannot maintain your 6-foot distance. Again, they are okay with you wearing homemade masks, pretty much whatever you've got available. Even bandanas have been suggested. But if you don't have to go out and buy anything special, and then there's a lot of places that are donating masks for people that may not have ability to make them or obtain them financially. They're being given out in many locations. So if you can get your hands on whatever is available that will cover your face, that's what we should do.
And there's really no evidence that the mask protects yourself, and I'm just wondering, have you seen anything differently? Does it help with viral load? Does it just any kind of face covering provide even a minimal amount of protection, or even just a psychological comfort?
So it would be for more source control, and if I'm covering my mouth and nose and then others are doing the same, that actually gives us even more protection. So that brings our risk of picking anything up less than if somebody was not wearing a mask. That's your highest point of risk.
I wanted to address a couple of issues I see out there from people who object to mask wearing. One of the common memes on Facebook and social media is that it can cause carbon dioxide poisoning, that you might be too much frequently touching your face, and that could be a problem. And so they're using that as arguments against mask wearing. Can you address that at all?
So that's an interesting perspective. These masks don't seal, so you're not really getting a lot of carbon dioxide per se. And hopefully you're not in an environment where you have to wear it 24/7. So if you can, take a break or be by yourself, that's when you could take it off and you can have some, fresh air basically. But there's not any concern that I have been aware of where any of those would be an issue. People are touching their face, but if you are touching your mask or your face at all, then we do recommend that you do hand hygiene afterward. And you would want to do hand hygiene before putting your face mask on also. And wash them frequently if you have a washable one.
So I clean my masks, try to clean them daily, use an ozone cleaner, and also just frequently wash my hands. But, it's kind of hard to avoid touching your face sometimes, or touching the mask sometimes if you're out in public to adjust it. But I just give you my thought and see what you think, is that if you've been exposed to it, the mask is probably not necessarily providing that much help anyway. So that's really not an argument against it, because you're not increasing your risk of infection by wearing a mask. Would you put it that way?
Well, you're helping not spread it further at that point. If you've been exposed, then you're helping, as a source control, you're helping not spread it further.
Good. Was there any other issues about mask wearing that you wanted to address?
Just want to make sure people are washing their hands appropriately, and again, washing their masks. You can wash your masks, the homemade masks, with your regular laundry. To just make sure everything dries thoroughly.
Great. Well, thank you. So thank you very much, Tricia.
Thank you. Thank you, okay. Howard.
So it's Howard Owens with the Batavian. We had Tricia Woodward on, infection prevention specialist at UMMC, talking about mask wearing. Appreciate her time and appreciate UMMC supporting us, helping get this information out. And of course, we got more news coming for you later today. So you all be safe and take care.